There's a town in California where one guy owns everything. The roads, the buildings, the mines, all of it. He lives there alone, and he's not the strangest thing on this list. California has about 482 cities. The ones you know sell you palm trees and oat milk. The ones we're looking at today are the ones locals don't post about. A town the state spends $1 million a year to keep falling apart on purpose. A town the county literally bought and turned into a tourist attraction. A town you can only reach by a road that's actively trying to kill you. 6 places, each one wrong in a different way. Let's start with the one even the park rangers won't promise to come find you in. Picture this. You're driving up a mountain road above Death Valley. The road gets worse, then worse. Then it's not really a road anymore, just a suggestion of one, with loose rock and blind drops and no guardrails between you and the canyon. 6 miles of this. And at the end, you find a town that nobody's lived in for over a century. That's Panamint City. In the late 1870s, somebody hit silver up there and thousands of people rushed in. Saloons went up overnight. Then floods came through the canyon. Fires took what the floods didn't, and the claims dried up. The town emptied as fast as it filled. Here's what's different about Panamint. Most ghost towns let you visit them. This one doesn't. The National Park Service technically manages the land, and what that means in practice is rangers telling you, plainly, that if your truck breaks down up there, you're on your own. No cell service, no rescue guarantee. The road in is the road out, and a lot of vehicles don't make the return trip. People still try, some get stranded, a few don't make it back at all. The danger isn't ghosts, it's exposure, dehydration, a busted axle 8 miles from anyone who could help you. One hiker put it perfectly. The place doesn't feel haunted, it feels territorial, like it tolerated you walking in and is waiting for you to walk back out. If you go, tell someone exactly when you'll be back. That's not dramatic advice. That's how the rangers tell you to do it. Bodie was 10,000 people once, 65 saloons, opium dens, a murder rate that ran ahead of the marriage rate. When the gold ran out in the 1880s, the town didn't slowly transition into something else. It just emptied. Then in 1962, California did something almost nobody else does with a dead town. They didn't restore it. They didn't tear it down. They froze it in place. They call it arrested decay. The state's official job is to keep Bodie falling apart at the exact rate it's already falling apart. No faster, no slower. They spend close to $1 million a year on this. Dishes still sit on tables in abandoned houses. Newspapers from 1912 are on the floors where they landed. Your tax dollars are paying somebody to maintain a slow-motion apocalypse, and honestly, it's kind of beautiful. People who visit Bodie sometimes pocket a rock, a nail, a piece of glass, and then they mail it back. Not occasionally, constantly. The park keeps the letters. They're full of stories about jobs lost, marriages ended, cars totaled, illnesses, audits, all blamed on a rusted hinge that fit in someone's pocket. You don't have to believe in curses, but you do have to explain why so many adults independently arrived at the same conclusion that something they took from this town was poisoning their life. That's not a ghost story. That's a pattern. If you ever go, and you should, don't take anything. Not because of the curse, because the state spent $1 million putting it exactly where it is. In the 1870s, Cerro Gordo was producing more silver and lead than anywhere else in California. 4,800 residents at its peak. Over 20 saloons. A red light district big enough to have its own neighborhoods. And a body count that made the rougher mining towns look quiet. Today, the population is 1. In 2018, a guy named Brent Underwood bought the entire town. Not a cabin, not a plot of land, the whole town. He moved up there, and he's been living there ever since. Inyo County technically governs the area, but practically speaking, Brent is the mayor, the maintenance guy, the fire department, and the guy who fixes the 6-mile rock slide of a road when it washes out. Think about that for a second. If you've ever had a bad week as a homeowner because of a leaky pipe, imagine being the only person responsible for an entire 19th century town. Buildings nobody's checked in 80 years. Mine shafts, a hotel, a graveyard, and then there are the stories. Doors slamming on windless days, voices in empty buildings. Visitors keep mentioning the same figure, a cigar smoker they've started calling Frank. Whether you buy any of it or not, here's the thing about Cerro Gordo. The people who used to live there left for a reason. The guy who lives there now is the only one finding out what that reason was. You can actually book a stay there. He runs it kind of like an extreme Airbnb. So if you've ever wondered what it feels like to be the only person in a town where over 100 people died violently, that option exists. Calico is the one your family takes you to. Wooden storefronts, staged shootouts at noon, ice cream, parking lots, the whole thing. It looks harmless. That's the design. In the 1880s, Calico was real. 1,200 people, over 500 mines, the usual mining town mix of money, violence, and zero oversight. When silver prices crashed, people left in the grab-what-you-can way that mining towns specialize in. Then in 1966, San Bernardino County did something almost no other county has ever done. They bought the entire town. Not a historical society, not a nonprofit. The actual county government with a parks budget and liability paperwork and a marketing plan. So now Calico is a ghost town with HR. The buildings are real. The history you get told is heavily curated. The disease outbreaks get glossed over. The murders get framed as Old West color. The miners who actually died there mostly didn't die of anything dramatic. They died of 110-degree heat, untreated injuries, and labor conditions nobody's putting on a fridge magnet. Here's what's worth knowing if you visit. The most interesting part isn't the day. It's right before close when the crowds thin out and the speakers go quiet, and you can actually see the place underneath the tourist version. Multiple employees over the years have said it the same way. The town tolerates the daytime. It doesn't love it. A ghost town with a gift shop is still a ghost town. The gift shop just funds the silence. Crescent City isn't abandoned. About 6,700 people live there. That's the first thing that sets it apart. The second is that the Pacific Ocean has hit this town with tsunamis on multiple occasions, including a brutal one in 1964 after the Alaska earthquake that reshaped parts of the town permanently. Most coastal towns plan for storms. Crescent City plans for waves. The sirens aren't ceremonial. The seawalls aren't decorative. Kids grow up there knowing what the warning sounds like and what it means. Living somewhere like this changes you in a way that's hard to describe unless you've done it. Imagine knowing, every single day, that the next big one is mathematically inevitable. You'd think it would make people anxious. It actually does the opposite. People who live there have a particular calm about it. The thing they're afraid of is already named, already mapped, already accounted for. That's more than most of us can say about the things we're afraid of. The economy runs on fishing and timber, which means long nights on empty docks in weather other towns wouldn't go out in. The fog doesn't lift the way it does elsewhere. It sits on the town. And missing person reports, hikers, fishermen, the occasional unexplained one, run a little high for a place this size. If you've ever fantasized about moving somewhere cheap on the California coast, Crescent City is genuinely affordable. You'd just be paying the difference in atmosphere. And you'd learn, pretty fast, that there's a real distinction between a town that's quiet and a town that's listening for something. The strange thing about all of these places is they made sense once. Silver, gold, opportunity, a coastline that looked like a postcard. The reasons ran out, the towns didn't, and whoever's there now, the one guy at Cerro Gordo, the rangers at Bodie,